My name is Paul. I've already shared the story of our daughter Natalie, who has lived with Dravet syndrome her whole life through the submission with Epilepsy Queensland. Natalie is now entering adulthood and lives at home with myself and my wife. Probably rather than just tell the story of Natalie, I'd like to highlight 3 areas that I believe people living with epilepsy need greater support: education, the transition from paediatric to adult services, and employment opportunities. These issues emerge strongly through our association, through Natalie's lived experience with Dravet syndrome, and demonstrate how gaps in systems can have lifelong consequences. Firstly, in relation to greater education and training in schools. Education plays a critical role in shaping outcomes for young people with epilepsy. In Natalie's experience, though, it showed that support within schools was often inconsistent. While some teachers were knowledgeable and proactive, others lacked the confidence and understanding needed to appropriately support a student with epilepsy. As a result, support often focused only on cognitive impairment, with limited recognition of the impact the seizures, medication side effects, fatigue, and safety concerns can have on learning and participation. Every teacher should have access to basic epilepsy awareness. Schools need clear protocols so that staff understand how to respond during a seizure, how epilepsy can affect learning, and how to support students to participate fully and safely in school life. Improved education would not only enhance safety, but also reduce stigma and create a more inclusive learning environment. When school staff understand epilepsy, students are more likely to feel supported, confident, and be able to reach their full potential. The transition from paediatric to adult healthcare is one of the most challenging periods for people living with lifelong conditions. In Natalie's case, support systems became significantly less structured once she reached adulthood. The transition lacked clear guidance, and responsibility for navigating services largely fell back onto the family, which put a lot of emotional strain on us to solve those gaps and come up with solutions. Finding appropriate specialists, understanding available supports, and coordinating care became increasingly complex. This experience highlights the need for structural transition planning that begins well before a young person leaves paediatric care. Families should be supported by dedicated coordinators who can provide information, connect people to services, and ensure continuity of care. Epilepsy does not end at the age of 18. It is a lifelong condition. The support available to individuals should reflect that reality. A smoother and more coordinated transition would reduce stress on families and help young adults maintain stable healthcare, independence, and quality of life. In our case, the only constant during Natalie's lifetime has been Epilepsy Queensland, who have provided significant assistance and support, which has ultimately helped immensely in our epilepsy journey. Stronger employment pathways and workplace support. Employment is a key contributor to independence, and we've heard from some of the other witnesses today. It builds self-esteem, social inclusion as well. However, for people living with lifelong epilepsy, employment opportunities can be significantly limited by both practical barriers and community misconceptions. Natalie's experience demonstrates how concerns relating to seizures, driving restrictions, cognitive impacts, and reduced independence can affect long-term future planning and confidence. People with epilepsy often have the skills, the motivation, and desire to contribute to the workforce, yet they may require additional support to access and maintain employment. This can include specialised career guidance, workplace education programs, flexible working arrangements, transport assistance, and employer awareness training. Greater understanding in workplaces can reduce stigma, increase confidence for both employers and employees, and create opportunities for individuals to participate meaningfully in employment despite the challenges of their condition. Supporting employment should not be seen as a welfare issue. It should be seen as an investment in inclusion, independence, and the potential of people living with epilepsy. With the right supports in place, many individuals can build successful and fulfilling careers. In closing, Natalie's story reminds us that the greatest challenges are often not caused by epilepsy itself, but by the gaps in the systems designed to support people living with it and the families associated. Better education and awareness in schools, structured support during the transition to adulthood, and stronger pathways into employment would make a profound difference to the lives of thousands of Australians living with epilepsy. By addressing these areas, we can help ensure that people with lifelong conditions are not simply managing their diagnosis, but are able to participate fully in education, work, and community life. Thank you very much.